Welcome to episode 27 of Win Me the Lottery, Tony. And I've got a question for you to kick us off.
Okay.
Would you rather, when we do win the lottery, win £10 million or £100 million?
Well, obviously 100 million.
But I've got a catch. So, £100 million and everybody knows, or £10 million and nobody knows. Because remember, that first rule that I've always had of winning the lottery is anonymity is crucial.
Wow. It's tough to say, really, because I do like the idea of being completely anonymous.
But you also love the idea of an extra zero.
Yeah, that's 90 million on the table that I'm walking away from. But then you might be just kind of spaffing that off to other people who just come and
Spaffing what off?
Doesn't spaff like yes? You could spaff it. You got 90 million. You can do whatever you want with it.
You can spaff anywhere you want.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think we could get into it. It is our topic of the week later.
It is going to be our topic of the week. We thought we'd dive in. But yeah, to me, I'll say it once. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it. Anonymity is your number one rule when you're playing the lottery, if you ever win. But anyway, we're going to get into that later.
I'm sure there are ways that you can spend 90 million to be anonymous. We could explore that.
Yeah, good point. You might have checkmated me there, but we'll come on to that. But yeah, Tony, obviously great weekend. Certainly for people from Madrid who are delighted to see their team win their 15th Champions League. That's like the quinceanera now, isn't it, for them? So I was disappointed. I wanted Dortmund to do it.
Yeah, obviously the final was in Wembley, London. So
yep.
I saw a lot of Dortmund fans. They're easy to spot with the yellow.
I saw a lot of Dortmund fans, even on Thursday, walking around London.
And I think a lot of the people are saying that Real Madrid were quite lucky to get to the final and to ultimately win it, because I only saw the highlights. But
what the hell were you doing instead?
I was in East London having some cake and some focaccia sandwich, and
that sounds lovely, actually.
No, it was really good.
I was actually in Hackney on Saturday as well.
Oh, really?
What
were you doing in Hackney? Where?
I was at a gig for my friend's birthday by London Fields.
Oh my God, I was quite close. We was near Mare Street. We had dinner at Mare Street.
Oh, right. And what's the name of the place?
I don't know the name of the actual restaurant, but the cafe was called Fora. It's like a bake. It's one of those called bakery cafe.
Okay, I'm going to check it out.
It's really good, honestly. And they do this. It's not a beignet. It's called something else. It's Italian, where I wouldn't call it a donut. It looks like a donut baguette thing. It's not that sweet, and then they fill it with cream. And it's not overly sweet, which I like. It's quite tasty. And the focaccia sandwich was just amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw Dortmund fans along the canal, just walking to Hackney.
At least they had a good weekend, even if they did lose.
Yeah, the first half they looked like they were all over them. That Adeyemi, he's like your classic winger that's young.
Is he the speed demon?
Yeah, he'll bomb down the left. He just can't finish.
But that's the thing, because we, as a Newcastle fan, we played them twice in the group stage, and I honestly think they were the best team we played all season. Mm-hmm. They were really good, and he was brilliant. The whole team was great, and I think it was their moment. But if you miss that many chances against a team like Real Madrid, you're in trouble. And it's a mentality thing, isn't it, Tony? It's like there's just something about that team that they know they're going to win. And it's almost, I hate to say, after the season they had, and everybody who watches, listens to this podcast knows, I hate Man United with a passion. I hate Eric Ten Hag. I hate Anthony. I could go on and on and on. But isn't there something about them as well? It's like a mentality. They won 2 trophies in these dreadful 2 seasons they've had.
Oh, what did they win?
Because the previous year they won the League Cup, and this year they won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And so, it's just a question, and you almost get to it, Tony, of 8th in an FA Cup or 2nd and no trophy for Arsenal. Who had the better season then?
Well, okay, you win a trophy is obviously great. Arsenal were in that position quite a few times. You could always win the FA Cup, but would finish like top four, not even in the top four. I think I'd rather have the trophy of pushing them all the way than the FA Cup. We've got too many of them.
The almost trophy.
Yeah, the almost trophy.
But, you know, and I think there's also something to be said for entertaining your fans and keeping them on the edge of their seats all season, because, Man U, I don't care what anybody says, they were absolutely dreadful for large parts of this season. And I think if I'd have been a Man U fan this season, I'd just be like, what are we doing? You know, they were humbled in the Champions League, weren't they? Newcastle humbled them in the League Cup at Old Trafford 3-0 or something. So they were very lucky. I mean, that Liverpool game was at quarterfinals where they came back from 3-1 down. It was lucky. Coventry, you know, there was that contentious offside.
I think that should have counted.
That's maybe should have counted.
I think that should have counted.
And what happened is, them by winning the FA Cup, they knocked us out of Europe. Because they finished below us, but took the extra spot.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, I mean, I would say Real Madrid aren't... You can't say they're lucky. I mean, it's 15 Champions Leagues now.
And how many has Ancelotti won? It's something ridiculous.
5. I think 5 or something as manager. But yeah, Man United, Arsenal. What would I rather have? Second in the Premier League or FA Cup?
2 points off.
I reckon second. I mean, it shows progress.
You're in Champions League next season.
Champions League.
Another tournament you won't win.
Well, it's very difficult. I think we need to take something that Real Madrid have. You know, that elite mentality.
Yeah.
That, you know, against Bayern Munich, I kept to go back. We should have done better.
Yeah.
We should have done better than Bayern Munich. But yeah, apart from obviously the Champions League, I mean, I've been thinking a lot about murder.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me, actually. Yeah, what this time? Or what triggered it this time?
Oh, Dexter is on Netflix.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah. No, like the serial killer Dexter.
Yeah.
I haven't binge watched the show for a while.
I've never watched it, actually. Well, apart from Baby Reindeer.
Yeah. I feel there's certain... You know, there's obviously dark themes in Baby Reindeer, and obviously there's dark themes in Dexter. And I have to admit, you know, I heard people rave on about it for many years back, and it started in 2006. Yeah. So they've got flip phones and stuff like that in the first season, which is fine. But it's really good. I can see where shows like You know, on Netflix.
Yeah, I've watched that. Yeah.
Have you seen The Mentalist?
Were they inspired by that? The Mentalist, is that the Christian Bale?
No, it's the Australian dude. But basically, you can see how Dexter has inspired You and The Mentalist. I can see certain bits around it, but I really enjoyed Dexter. It's kind of...
It's one of those that I've got to watch. And the other one is The Wire. I've never watched The Wire. Have you watched that?
Yeah.
Yeah, recommended?
Oh, 100%. If you do you like Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Oh, you'll love The Wire.
I even watched Better Call Saul. Remember?
Oh yeah, you'll love The Wire. I mean, the thing is with Dexter, You, and The Wire, the reason why I like them so much is that I can really relate to the characters. That's why. But yeah, talking about The Wire, I mean, they're all about making the cheddar. It's, you know, selling drugs and stuff like that. And even when you look at Breaking Bad, I mean, his motivations were quite noble. He just wants to provide for his family, like we are trying to do when we win the lottery.
Absolutely.
Okay, they kill a few people along the way.
Well, wouldn't you kill to win the lottery?
Well, I guess that's another topic.
Week next week.
I mean, you already inspired me. It's like, for 100 million, would you be happy to be the person for 100 times, be the person that administers the lethal injection?
That is actually really good
capital
point.
punishment.
Okay, so basically we've got our topic of the week sorted for the rest of the year, because we can just do this 100 million or 10 million with some difficult scenario added to the 100 million.
But if you know, I suppose it's inspired from Dexter. Like,
let's say it's euthanasia. They've asked for it.
Yeah, or they are a serial killer that is on death row and they get a death penalty.
Yeah, and they deserved it.
Yeah.
Depends if you're in favour of capital punishment.
I actually don't.
You're very much in favour, aren't you? Yeah.
Well, I'm eye for an eye. I generally believe if you kill someone, then you deserve to be killed.
Yeah.
Is that right or wrong?
Well, the only problem is, do we trust the judicial and legal system?
Yeah.
Especially after what happened to Donald Trump the other day, Tony. I mean, that was outrageous. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Convicted felon Donald Trump, of course, who is running for president.
And you know what? I was watching UFC on the weekend, and he was at the UFC.
Oh, was he the convicted felon?
Trump.
I mean, it's hardly surprising you'll allow convicted felons into the UFC. Most of the crowd watching it are probably convicted felons.
They were shaking his hand. All the fighters were shaking his hand. Even some of the fighters said, "I'm going to donate to you, Trump."
Did they say that?
Yeah. So.
Oh dear, that's yet another reason that I don't watch UFC. I'm glad they give me another one.
I'm not going to say whether I support Trump or not, but I do support the UFC. So you guys can read into that however you like.
UFC or KFC?
Both.
I'll go KFC. I'll go KFC. No, I'll go NUFC, then KFC, then UFC.
Have you watched UFC?
No. Don't intend to either.
I know it's
Is
really,
it really good?
It is really good. It is the true art of fighting.
Yeah.
Boxing, I love boxing. Who doesn't like boxing? It's an art form. You don't like boxing either?
I'm a pacifist. I'm not interested in all that.
But even if whether you watch boxing or anything, that a true street fight always ends up on the ground somehow.
True.
So if you're a boxer and you've got no ground game,
but the thing is, I'm not
it's the game over.
The streets like you are, in the way you are. I'm not from the hood.
I didn't have a choice. I had to learn these things to survive, right?
In school, in primary school.
No, my sister. She would she'd attack me.
I've heard about her, I must admit.
But yeah, so I guess our topic of the week is again that's something that's interesting later.
100 million and everyone knows, or 10 million and no one knows.
I think that could be quite an interesting exploration about pros and cons, really.
Yeah.
But I guess before we even get into that, is we've got to win the damn thing.
Well, we will.
Yeah, and not like the lotto's never going to get to 100 million. Euro Millions is another thing.
Yeah, and it's getting a bit closer actually, though, isn't it, Tony? Normally 4 million, but what is it this week?
So last Saturday's Lotto result. So what was the jackpot? So jackpot amount was 7.3 million.
Hey, not too bad. Not too bad.
What were the winning numbers? It was 6, 11, 16, 21, 43, 50, and bonus ball 9.
So I don't think we won it.
No, we didn't. Machine name is Lancelot, ball set 1. And you're right, Chris, we didn't match any numbers. So my numbers were 5, 7, 10, 25, 34, 42.
Just tell me that no one else won it. That'll make me happy again.
Yeah, no one else won it. Actually.
Good, fantastic.
But every time we say that, and then someone else eventually wins it, and it's like.
Well, the thing is, we need to up the podcast to twice a week, so we do it after the Saturday and the Wednesday draws.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, we need to explore Wednesday potentially. Got to be in it to win it, right?
Absolutely.
So, okay, we can move on to. What have our listeners been saying, Chris?
Well, Tony, our listeners have been going mad, as always, and just engaging with the show. So just to go through some of our YouTube comments. Paul Smith. So do you remember a few weeks ago we talked about The Office, and we said UK Office or US Office. And Tony, you were quite emphatic on the UK Office is better. I'm just balanced. Almost every single part of me wants to say the UK Office. I know it's the original, but the US Office was so good as well, and it is accessible. But Paul Smith has got in touch on YouTube. He says, look, the Office was emulated for a reason. Mic drop, ... So I don't know why he's put 4 dots for an ellipsis. There should be 3 dots there, Paul, but anyway.
Do you want to ask me why I think the UK Office is better?
Why do you think the UK Office
I think there's been a rape upstairs.
I don't remember that part.
Do you remember that scene?
What was that scene?
It's the best scene because I can't remember.
Well, who said it and what?
David
Ricky
Brent.
said it.
David Brent.
Did he? I only watched it like 2 years ago, but I forget. Or I watched it again 2 years ago, but I forget.
It's so good. Okay, let me give you a taste of the scene. So this episode, they were at a team building session, and they brought in an external team building guy.
Yeah.
And then he was trying to demonstrate about customer service.
Yeah.
So he said, "Oh, let me let David, your leader, come up, and we'll role play where I'll play like a hotel manager who doesn't care, and obviously David Brent will play a customer, and I'm gonna act like I've got bad customer service. So obviously they role play, and then David Brent goes, "Oh, I'm staying at a hotel," and he says, "Well, I don't care." And he's like, well, you're ambassador for the hotel. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, I think there's been a rainbow.
That is actually effective. That is very effective.
And it's so good because David Brent before that was saying that he should be the hotel manager because he could do the Basil Fawlty thing. He's got training. And then he completely kind of derails the point that the team building guy is trying to make, that how to handle customer service. And then David Brent kind of goes, well, you've got to get their attention. And then they swap roles, and then David Brent is the hotel manager. He's role playing the hotel manager. He's the other guy's role playing as the customer. And then the guy who's playing the customer goes, oh, I'd like to make a complaint. And then David Brent goes, I don't care. And he goes, no, but I want to make a complaint. And he goes, no, don't care. And he goes, and then David Brent goes, okay, what room are you staying in? And he goes, 302. He goes, there is no room 302. Sometimes complaints can be lies. It's so good. Brilliant. You need to watch it again.
No, I've watched it, like, honestly, it's 2 years ago, but no, I'll watch it another time. But yeah, Tony, we had another one. So remember, this one's just blowing up all over the place, was when we talked about bank holidays. So we said there was a thought about there being an additional bank holiday put in place. Election, of course, ongoing now, the campaign. And in the previous one, there was a suggestion by Jeremy Corbyn of 3 extra bank holidays. And I think even Rishi Sunak analysed that while he's been in power in this pretty disastrous tenure that he's had. And he said, the economic benefits don't outweigh the negatives. Adam Brandon got in touch and he said, just remember that bank holidays are not fun for people that work in public transport or at supermarkets. They have to work while everyone takes the day off. Well, Adam, thank you for that. I couldn't care less about people like that. No, I'm kidding.
They might get time and a half.
They get day, yeah. Number one, because I've done that. I've worked in a factory back in the day when it was a bank holiday. Yeah. Time and a half. Might have even been double, yeah.
I can't remember. Work.
And then they get a day off in lieu, I believe. Or maybe not always.
I think it's either or, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And, well, Tony, you actually replied, so true, Adam. Respect to those that keep society going when everyone is off, which I think is a good one to say. And then we had another one. So, of course, let's not forget, a few weeks back when I was abroad in Malaysia, Dr. Ding came on and co-hosted the podcast with Tony, and you were talking about the fact that in Japan, basically, give it, 100 years? 500 years, which is barely, we'll still be alive. Everybody in Japan will be named Sato.
Yeah.
Now, King K, 2009, has said, and this is quite a long one, but I actually thought it was really interesting. I kind of knew it, but he said, what I learned, or she, about the origins of surnames in England is that once villages were getting big enough for there to be enough people that the same name would be used for more than one person, they had to clarify which John or Mary you were referring to, for example. So you'd mention their job titles. You'd say John the carpenter or Mary the flour miller. And that eventually then became shortened to John Carpenter and Mary Miller. So that's kind of why, and those are both two quite common names. And funnily enough, one of my mates is Greek Cypriot, or his father is, and his name is John Carpenter in Greek.
That kind of makes sense. I knew it was something to do with Smith, is it blacksmith?
Yeah,
or something?
I believe so. Yeah.
I guess I'll be Tony Killer.
Yeah. Well, that's what your surname means in Vietnamese.
Yeah. It means gangster.
Serial killer. Oh, I thought it was serial killer.
Oh, yeah.
But that's one of the most common Vietnamese surnames, isn't it?
Yeah, it's too common. It's essentially a Smith, or not worse.
What does it mean? Do you know?
I actually don't know. I think it's something connected with royalty or something. Yeah. I need to research that. Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. Oh, and we had an email, which actually this is the best of the lot. Let me go back to the email that came in. And I don't know... We shouldn't read out the name because the email comes in with the name. We won't say the name because it's, again, could be a bit private. But it's a lady. She says, me and my family did a DNA ancestry test last year. You know all those DNA tests that you can do? You send in your DNA and
I
they
still
tell
don't know
you
how
your
it works.
ancestry.
How does it tell you these things?
I never actually considered why or how it works,
Yeah.
but you're right. Is it all a and they certainly harvest your data, is what I'm led to believe, if you send in your DNA. She said, it was a Christmas present I got for everyone in the family. I am an only child. I was pinged on the app that I have an older sister who is living in Scotland. Should I reach out and reply? So just to recap on that, they did a family DNA ancestry test. She brought everyone this. She's an only child. And on this app, I've seen this before as well, people can just ping you if you've got some sort of relationship. If two people have got similar DNA.
But both of you have to do the test.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone has both.
It's a money, mate. Everyone needs to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And someone's just pinged her and said, look, I'm your sister.
Yeah.
Older sister living in Scotland. How'd you process that then if you figured that one out?
The first thing she should actually ping her is how much is your net worth?
Yeah.
And if she's rich, then it's worth carrying on the conversation. But if not...
That's a really good point, Lucy. I shouldn't have said the name.
Lucifer,
the devil. That's a really good point. And just say, do you play the lottery? Have you won the lottery before?
Yep. What is your disposable income monthly?
Yeah, monthly. Occupation.
Yeah.
Just to see if they're going to keep it up. Maybe they had a better job. They've had to downgrade or something like that.
Are your organs healthy?
Yeah. What is your heart rate? Your resting heart rate? What blood type are you?
Do you own your own home?
Yeah. And then, this is the thing is, with these, do we trust these DNA things? Because, I watched that, it wasn't even a documentary, but recreation of that company in the US where they were doing the quick...
What Theranos.
And that was sort of scam. And they were telling people, they told somebody they'd had a miscarriage, but actually she was still pregnant and healthy, baby.
You know what? I did see something on my Instagram when someone was saying that they did this test a while back and there was a certain percentage this and that. And then they said they got an updated version of that. They did it again. And the categories changed slightly because they said that the data's improved.
So hang on a minute. Yeah. So how bad was the data to start with and how much better is it now? And in 50 years' time, if we did it again, would it say something totally different because the data keeps improving?
Yeah. I think for me, it would say that I'm probably 50% Kryptonian or something.
Yeah. Well, you're certainly a cryptomaniac. There's no doubt about that. So Lucy, these are the things you've got to know. You need to figure out if this alleged sister is somebody you want in your life. And I think, as Tony and I have said, wealth is the most important part of whether you want somebody in your life.
Yeah.
Future prospects, second. And third, are they going to leave you behind anything decent in their will?
Yeah.
So assets.
What are they going to do for you to spend your time travelling up to Scotland? Going up to Scotland, it takes too long.
It's a depressing place, bad weather.
It takes ages to get up there. And, you want to make sure it's worth your while. Yeah. It's no time to mess about.
Is there anything else she could figure out?
What's the saying? Blood is thicker than water. Is that saying that you should?
That you should. Up? Family's more important.
Okay, then maybe that. Then, if that is what you want to do.
I don't know.
You can't choose. You choose your. No, wait. I'll retract that. You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So, thank you very much for that, Lucifer. Topic of the week time, Tony. £100 million, and everyone knows, or £10 million, and no one knows.
That is a very good question, Chris. And so, this topic, I think it's been explored before, because I was inspired by this, because I saw it somewhere online when someone did ask that question. But the way they framed it was that, would you rather win $100 million lottery and have it announced on national TV? So it's not only like people around you know, this is like announced on national TV, like your face is there. Like everyone knows.
Billboards. There are billboards up. It's on the radio. It's on TikTok. We broadcast it. We put it on YouTube Shorts. Win me the lottery.
So it's like national. It's gone national.
No, international if it's us.
International if it's us. Or would you take a nice tidy 10 million and not a single soul knows?
Well, I mean,
that's what I said to people giving you the money.
How many times have I said this on this podcast, Tony?
Yeah.
This is just my view. Number one rule. Okay, we've been through this before. Your 3-point checklist. Number one. Don't tell a soul. Number two. Hire a financial advisor. Number three. Hire a lawyer. That's just my view. And so all day, every day, I'm taking that £10 million and I'm staying anonymous. And when I think about that, Tony, let's say, what's your dream home? I don't want a huge place, maybe a couple of mil, decent, one of those duplex, couple of floors and in a beautiful luxury apartment.
What part of London, though?
Well, that's the thing. To be honest, the most expensive parts, I don't think I want to live there. Mayfair. I wouldn't want to live in Mayfair. Why would I? I don't even enjoy going to Mayfair. So I'd probably just go, I don't know. I bet. I might be totally right. I bet you get a decent place in Richmond or Hampstead.
2 million.
You think I've gone crazy? Just a flat. I'm talking about like a duplex flat. Or do you think it is a bit more than that?
It really depends how many bedrooms and bathrooms are.
2.
2 bedroom.
3. 3. Go.
You know what? I watch a lot of YouTube
3 beds,
homes.
2 baths.
You know what? I think it's still more than 2 million.
Really?
You could stretch it. Maybe you could go up to 3.
Okay, let's just say 3 million.
Okay.
Right, I've gone 3 million. I've got my 3-bed duplex.
Yeah.
In Richmond by the park.
Yeah.
2 baths, balcony.
Yeah.
And I've still got 7 million left. Now, we spoke about this before, Tony. How are you going to use that money? You could even get a savings account. At the moment, maybe 4%. Even that's getting you a decent rate of return. I'll probably invest it. And what I might do is actually invest in property in emerging markets, in Bangkok or somewhere in Thailand. Maybe on an island or something if they're only available. And then I'm going to invest it in the stock market.
So you get a good, decent. I mean, if you put it in
an AI ETF.
What's the return on that? What, 5%?
Yeah.
I mean, even currently now, if you put it in the savings, you get 4%, right?
Yeah.
Across multiple different accounts. Yeah. I mean, it's doable. I mean, of course, it's doable. It's just you still got to be conscious on what you're spending a little bit.
I know you have, but what is it? So if you had 5 million in a savings account, 4%, what are we talking though? Is that like 200 grand a year?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. That's not a bad income.
A footballer earns 200 grand in a week.
Yeah. So maybe we need to reset. Well, this is the point. You're going to probably make that argument of 100 million.
Yeah.
There's so much more that you can do with it.
Obviously, immediately I'm like 100 million because it's such a nice number, 100. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, so if people know, but what's stopping me from leaving the country for a good few years and then come back? Yep. I mean, people kind of move on very quickly. The Queen's died. Remember when it was a big news? And then people's probably forgotten about that now.
Yeah.
I
certainly haven't.
You haven't. It's like, I don't know, some people remember stuff all the time. Like, have I forgotten what happened with, Michael Barrymore? No. It's on the top of my mind. Philip Schofield, we still think about that all the time. Hugh Edwards. So, yeah, part of me is like, I could just go to UAE for a couple of years or just, just travel around and then come back. And then, some people might have forgotten, like, who...
Tony, these greedy bar stewards, they don't forget, buddy. It's people you thought were your friends. They'll hound you. They'll be emailing. It'd be like baby reindeer. They'll be emailing you, texting you, pinging you like crazy. Facebook message, Instagram DM. We'll have to shut down the podcast YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. But I guess if I frame it this way, is that it's 90 million on the table, which is a lot to leave. Is 90 million worth your privacy?
You have a briefcase.
Yeah.
You have £100 million in cash in it, and you are going to empty 90% of it and chuck it in the bin. That's the reality of this scenario.
Yeah.
And yes, I would. And I would actually set the bin on fire so that nobody else can get their hands on that money.
You're basically setting £90 million on
fire. Yeah, I'm setting it ablaze because my privacy is priceless. My privacy is that is what we have just gone through. This is what we fought for, Tony. Our privacy, our freedom.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you put any figure on that?
I think
I would tear down this city if it meant keeping my freedom.
90 million, you can pay for security.
Yeah.
A security detail.
Yeah.
But even think about this, like, is it ethically right for me to leave £90 million on the table and walk away? I can take 100 million and give half of it, 50 million to charity.
Yeah, true.
And what happens to the other 90 million for you? It's either
it's burnt or
it's gone to Rishi Sunak or whoever.
Well, hang on. You didn't put that condition in it. If Rishi Sunak's involved, I'll do anything not to do anything for him. If Rishi Sunak's in the table, I'm changing it.
Okay. It goes to another winner, I guess. But look, there are two practical things that you can do if you want to keep your privacy. Buy a new identity. You can change. We talked about names.
Yeah,
change your
disguise.
name.
You get a disguise. And
I could be complete
go to Turkey, change your hair up.
Yeah. Plastic surgery.
Yeah. Do a Michael Jackson type.
Completely change it up. And they will do it for you as long as you're not a criminal, right?
What ethnicity would you change to if you had to change your ethnicity?
Oh, we're going there. I might be black.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I
think you,
Yeah.
You.
Now, actually, some people, I reckon do you reckon, okay, serious question. When I grow out my moustache and I wear, say, a checkered shirt, someone says that I can pass off for Mexican.
Right.
What do you think?
You brought this up before. With this longer hair.
Yeah.
Like any kind of Latin American, quite possibly.
So it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to be like me, Latino, Brazilian.
Yeah, I think that would be the closest one.
Yeah.
So as you get a bit of a change up there, you just say
gold. I get a gold grill or something like just to say I'm a bit more the
just have a load of coke in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's one way, and then I've got what 90. Okay, I've got 90 million. Well, not 100 million.
And now you're Mexican, even better.
Yeah, and I can
burritos every day.
Forget about thinking about do I want to spend 3 million on a duplex apartment? I can get 5 of them.
Yeah,
I can get
one in Mexico City, one down by Cancun. You could buy a whole burrito shop if you wanted to.
I can buy a big chunk of the favelas if I wanted to. Make my own favela. But the thing is that it's significant. You've got 10 million, I've got 100 million. You may not you make a good point. I think we were talking earlier that you said a big place is hard to clean, right? The bigger house.
Yeah,
you've got to clean it.
Yeah.
Trying to get mold off the windowsills.
Well, that's why I'm just sticking to the duplex because I'm not interested in having to clean a huge place.
You got service charge, maybe?
Yeah. Not where I'm moving.
Okay. So it's not a flat, it's a house. Or
it's a duplex, but there's no service charge.
Okay. But for me, I can get, you talk about two bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Is there a walk-in shower? Is it dual sinks?
One of them has a walk-in shower, yep.
Okay, sauna?
Yep.
You got all of that.
Sauna in one of the 2 bathrooms, yeah.
It's adding up, 3 million might not be enough. Where for me, I can get custom stone from Italy.
Oh, I've got that too.
Really? Yeah. I can have
I got it on a special deal from Topps Tiles. But no, you're right.
I can pay for staff to clean my massive house.
But Tony, you were talking about charity and all this crap. I mean, what's that got to do with it? Are you trying to tell me that my freedom is less important than charitable causes?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Totally disagree. No, I think you make a very good point there, but
oh my God, how much interest would I make on 100 million?
Just a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
But then...
I mean, okay, anonymity is so important to
Yeah.
me. And, you could be stalked. If you go public, and actually we're going to come on to this later, because one of next week's numbers is really quite shocked me to my core when I read about it. But everybody knows who you are now. And how hard is it to find an address? Your data is breached day in, day out. And this happened before, where somebody can actually access, happened to my missus, where they can access your address. They give you a quick call and they say, I just want to verify, is this your name? Is this your address? And you say, well, yes, it is. Oh, we're calling from your bank, because they also have your bank name. And is this your card number? And you're expired. She didn't fall for it. Luckily, I was there. I overheard her put it on loudspeaker. I said, well, hang on. You need to verify your identity. And we actually are going to call you back. So give us a reference number. And then they actually gave that. And you know what he shouted down the phone?
What?
He said, your mum! When then he hung up. But
So it's a British guy.
He was from Nottingham. I could tell he was from Nottingham because I went to uni in Nottingham. Yeah. So he was putting on a very posh accent.
Yeah.
And then when he obviously realised he'd been rumbled.
So these chances are so annoying.
But that's how easy it is to get all your data now. So if you've gone public, let's do it for these two idiots later who've gone public that I'm going to draw attention to. Why don't we just prove a point and go and turn up at their house and ask them for some money? That would be a great thing for this podcast. But that's all I'm saying is people can easily find out, let alone all these people that you've got on Facebook or something that you haven't seen them for years. Suddenly they start pinging you, and all these old mates from school come out of the woodwork. You haven't seen them for donkey's years. Your colleagues say, it's your round again, Tony. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean...
unless you've quit, of course. But, that'll be it. It's always your round. Oh, you take your friends out for dinner, it's somebody's birthday. Oh, Tony will get this one.
Yeah, but 100 million you can buy a new set of friends.
True. Who are also wealthy enough.
And you're surrounding yourself. It's like this type of thing where when you're at that level of wealth, you want to surround yourself with people at that level of wealth
Cut
as
from
well.
the same cloth. So you're saying you would ditch all your old mates if you're on the lottery? Apart from me, because we're sharing the winnings.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we want to be hanging around with... We go, we want to do this. And
some of these people we know, no, I wouldn't know.
I can't afford... He says, we're just going to Las Vegas like tomorrow. I'm staying at, the penthouse. You coming? We can go, but they can't afford it.
Oh, yeah, you probably have to support me on this one. No chance.
Yeah. Do you want to race our Bugattis around Europe?
I certainly do.
Yeah, but they haven't even got a Bugatti. Yeah, so it just gets a bit awkward, doesn't it?
I just say one other counterpoint. Mikey Carroll.
How much did he win?
Mikey Carroll. He won millions. He went public. He went crazy. He was in all the papers because they knew it straight away. This story about the binman who won the lottery was a bit of a out of control, and they hounded him, Tony.
He's a bit of a lout.
They hounded him. He was a lout. He was. And it ruined him. He was bankrupt within a couple of years. And that is just yet another reason of keep it quiet. Keep your powder dry.
It's a tough one. I think you might be swaying me to 10 million.
Well, what I think is we need listeners
to
get in touch here and just let us know, would you take 10 million in anonymity? It's enough. I mean, Tony, my goodness, it's enough.
Yeah.
Just depends. Do you want to build generational wealth? Do you want to leave a legacy behind?
Yeah.
Actually, if you leave a couple of million behind, it's enough.
I mean, if you want 100 million, you can contribute quite a significant amount to the Trump campaign. That's the thing.
To that convicted felon.
Yeah.
But it looks like Nigel Farage has decided to...
he's thrown
his hat in the ring for the UK, having previously said that he couldn't do it because it was too short a turnaround time and he needed to support his friend Trump. So what changed in this week? Is it your massive ego, Nigel? Or is it that you can't support the convicted felon?
I think he's just like, I've been sitting on my hands. This country needs me. And he's gone like, I need to do this.
I think that's exactly what he said.
I mean, he got Brexit done with Johnson.
He really was
And-
the driving force of Brexit, and now he wants to put more damage on this country. And fair play to him. It's a democracy.
Would he
we would never
reverse it?
stop.
Has he changed his tune? I forget. Did he change his tune?
No,
on Brexit
no.
now?
He changed his tune because he says that it wasn't a hard enough Brexit. We need to go harder. And that's why it's been a complete disaster, because they did it wrong. Even though what he proposed at the time of the vote was much softer than what actually happened. But anyway, we won't get into all of that. So, vote for us if you want. Vote whoever you want. We don't get involved.
We believe in democracy.
What did I just say? The most important thing, freedom.
Yeah.
Let people make their own minds up, as long as they have access to the facts.
Yeah, and I would say this, okay, I end with, people give people a hard time who vote Trump.
Yeah.
It's like, why it's their choice, right?
You know what I always do? If somebody disagrees
Yeah.
with me, I listen to understand why.
Yeah.
Because I find it quite interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody's voting differently to you without a reason for it of some type. It might not be a very good reason, but to them it's important.
Yeah.
And so we all need to listen to each other a bit more.
Yeah, there is no right or wrong, really. It's what you believe in. And is that
what you feel.
That can't be wrong, right? And that's what it says the beauty about democracy, right?
But the only thing I'll say is he is a convicted felon. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't vote for him.
Yeah.
There's plenty of convicted felons who've turned their lives around. But he is a convicted felon, and there is no evidence that the last election was rigged, like you've been saying. But, if you still identify with somebody like that, I'd like to understand why.
The reason why I would consider voting for Trump is that I have more kind of a school kid's mentality in the sense of like, who would win in a fight, Biden or Trump?
Yeah, well.
Trump.
I think, Stephen Hawking would win in a fight with Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, would you want another... Actually, who's running on Biden's... No, Biden's not running again.
He is.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, my dear. Sorry,
we thought Rishi Sunak was bad.
You know what I saw so
The two
funny?
American ones.
There was a play on words, and I can't remember what newspaper it was. You know when he came out in the rain to do his announcement?
Yeah.
And the title was Reigning Champion. I thought that was brilliant, because all the other papers were just so negative.
Yeah.
Like, it just looked like he was so downtrodden in the
Reigning
rain.
champion.
I was like, that's brilliant.
He is. Did you see him? He's had a few. He went to visit the Titanic
Oh, yeah.
on one of the first days, and they just said to him, are you overseeing a sinking ship? And then he went to Wales and asked them if they'd be watching the Euros, and they said no, Wales aren't in it. And then he mishandled a loaf of bread in Morrison, which was quite funny as well. But anyway, right. But Tony, should we move on to picking next week's numbers? Because I really do feel that this week is probably our week.
Oh, yeah. I think I feel it in my bones. So, yeah, and we're on to segment 3, and I guess I can start, Chris.
Go for it,
three
Tim,
numbers.
please. Yeah.
So this first story that I saw caught my eye was bad breath rapist from Boston area caught after 16 years at large in California.
Well, that actually is a good news story, that he's finally been caught after that long.
And, I think clearly his bad breath was what gave him away. Because a fugitive dubbed the bad breath rapist has been arrested in San Francisco Bay Area more than 16 years after he fled following his conviction for sexually assaulting a co-worker in Massachusetts, authorities said this week. Oh, right, it's an Asian dude. Tuen Kit Lee was found guilty at a 2007 trial of the kidnapping and rape of the young woman at knife point at her home.
Wow.
He went on the run before he was to be sentenced. Officials kept the case alive in the media, and Lee's photo appeared several times on TV's America's Most Wanted. After images surfaced on social media of the man believed to be Lee, investigators were able to track him down.
So was this internet sleuths again? It appeared on social media, surfaced on social media.
I'm trying to connect where the bad breath bit came from. It says, his female companion after 15 years of being together in California never knew who he really was, so he was on the radar with that.
And this is just so sad as well, because Tony, this guy convicted in Massachusetts starts a whole new life in California, one of the greatest places you can go. San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oakland, wasn't it? He was found.
But listen, okay, it actually answers the DNA question I had. He was ultimately identified by DNA and his horrible breath, which produced the nickname the Bad Breath Rapist. How do you get DNA from the breath?
Well, I think they're saying DNA and his horrible breath. But I must admit, I think in a court of law, the DNA is probably going to stand up a little bit better than his horrible breath.
Sorry, you're right. You said DNA and horrible. Oh, they're just digging.
So do you think that's how the internet sleuths found? He's like, oh my God, your breath, absolutely rotten.
Is this professional to have a go at his breath?
Yeah.
He's got the DNA evidence already.
I don't know. And the state policeman... Yeah, police statement said that. But anyway, I mean...
I guess it stands out now that... Because there's a lot of rapists out there, right?
Yeah.
He stands out because he is known as the bad breath rapist.
Yeah.
So I guess if he's in prison, he'll be like, I'm in for... Oh, you're the bad breath rapist.
Yeah, but maybe it'll put people off having a go at him if he stinks that much. Although, mind you, in the men's prison, it probably doesn't matter what his breath smells like.
Oh, yeah. This sounds really terrible, but obviously it's an absolutely deplorable thing that he's done. Yeah. I mean, I can't even think about the victims or what they've gone through, but having gone through that, and then that's compounded the whole experience with the bad breath as well. I mean, it's
just a double whammy.
Wow. But he's, I'm
glad he's been caught, Tony. That's the most important thing. 16 years, and with a new partner who's with for 15 of those 16 years, it's just quite remarkable.
You can never trust, you never know who you're with, it's...
Are they a convicted felon? I mean, that's probably what Melania Trump has been asking.
Yeah, so exactly, you can't be too careful. So 16 is a number for that story. The next one takes us to Asia.
And we love it there, and particularly in South Korea, don't we, Tony, with some of the stories we've had from there in the past.
Yeah. And you're a big fan of K-pop, right? Do you actually like K-pop?
I tell you what, I absolutely love Blackpink.
They are good.
I'm not even going to deny it. Blackpink are outstanding, but I don't really know any other K-pop. But I'm sure I would love it if I got into it.
What's the... I had a phase of K-pop. There was... what were they called again? Well, EXO was one, but there's another boy band that was really big.
Oh, BTS.
That's it, BTS. Yeah. What does that stand for again?
I have no idea.
Is that behind the
name
scenes?
of the probably.
BT.
Yeah, it's the name of the tube in Bangkok. So I remember it, I think.
Yeah. So this one is Seoul to offer cash for vasectomy reversals in bid to boost languishing birth rates. I thought there was languishing birth rates in Japan, but apparently Korea is
both. But Korea's even worse, it says here. The world's lowest fertility rate, Tony.
That is mad.
So what's happening in these... I mean, you've got K-pop, you've got Blackpink there.
Yeah, I mean, like you said...
Something cultural.
It says, South Korea has the world's lowest fertility rate at 0.72. The situation is especially dire in Seoul, which is the capital, where every group of 100 women is estimated to produce only 55 babies over their collective lifetimes, the lowest among all major cities.
I think what we need to do is get you out there because, you've been willing to even try it on with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
A female Bigfoot. So if you're willing with a female Bigfoot, let's get you out there and let's just get that fertility rate up.
I don't know if how Dr. Ding would feel about that, but I think...
Sorry, Ding, but it's all in the name of science and, just keeping the Korean race alive. Maybe they need more immigrants in, because isn't that, Korea and Japan have been famously a little bit... strict, homogenous. People are just getting bored. I'm not even joking. People are just bored. Yeah. They're watching all these movies, different races mixing... And they're just saying, well, hang on a minute, I'm bored.
You know what? Obviously you've been to Thailand quite a few times.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say, sex tourism is a thing.
It might be.
Yeah. Okay, it might be.
I'm just saying that's not why I was there.
You were teaching, obviously, students English, but other guys that were on your plane were We'll probably have other ideas.
Certainly were.
Yeah. So obviously Thailand is a lower cost of living, right? So they're probably going because it's cheaper. I guess Korea would be probably more expensive.
Much more. And what I did here, I don't know if it's true, but when I was in Thailand, is it's almost they love the Korean culture, but people would say, well, Koreans are a bit snobby. And they would look down on you if they visit Thailand. They look down on people. That's just something I heard.
I
don't know.
Like Southeast Asian, But there's clearly something that is going to be an issue in the future if people aren't actually producing babies. And then you've got a situation like the same in Japan where you've got a population that's unbalanced when you've got a lot of old people and not enough, I guess, young people to kind of support society. So I guess, there is one way of reversing vasectomies.
Yeah.
I still find vasectomies, it's weird, they snip it and then I still don't understand why they're seen.
I just don't have any interest.
Yeah.
Why? No, Tony. But I mean, I would say if you are interested in getting a vasectomy, there's really nothing to worry about.
Wait, listen to,
I kid you not.
Oh, okay. I get it. No, nice.
No kids.
Nice.
I kid you not. But no, I think it's a good idea. Reverse vasectomy. But that was another one in The Office. Do you remember Michael Scott in the US one?
Yeah.
Where he was like chatting to Jan or whatever, and he was like, I got a vasectomy. I had it reversed. I got another vasectomy just for you.
How can you have it? I don't know. Like they just tie back the. I need to research this.
I think we need to get Dr. Ding on to explain this one to us.
Yeah, I need to watch a YouTube video or something about how this works. But
well, I wouldn't even I'd go for Pornhub actually.
But I guess just a bit of detail on like what I guess the government is trying to do here is that Seoul, well I guess the city Seoul will offer each citizen up to 1 million won, which is the equivalent of $734, to help ease the financial burden of the medical procedure for couples who want a child, according to a statement from the city. That's not that.
Tony, how many people have had a vasectomy? Why don't they just offer people money if they have a kid?
Yeah, I think this is where the core problem is that they just probably can't afford it.
If you've had a vasectomy, you're probably not. I mean, let's be honest, if you've already had one, is that really the target market to go after? And how old are you when you have one?
Yeah. But hey, it's worth trying. I think.
Yeah, trying, I think.
I think they might need to get a few people abroad just to get things going. I don't know.
I think just let a few people in.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think I don't know enough about Korean culture. I've never been there. But how would it be viewed for your family, if you're Korean, if you were to marry somebody from abroad?
I think it's...
For example, I don't know. So these are all the questions.
Yeah, is porn banned in Korea?
I don't know. I haven't been there. But, I mean, if we get you out there, you can let us know within a few minutes of your landing.
Yeah, okay. No, that's research. It's research. The number is 55 because, out of 100 women, about only 55 babies are actually produced.
It's not enough, is it? It's
not
enough. Or do we need to depopulate the planet?
Yeah.
Or Korea are doing it the right way? I just don't know, Tony.
Okay, so for my final number, I'm getting all religious here.
Not for the first time.
Yeah. Do you actually go to church, Chris?
No.
Okay. So, good thing maybe this story might put you off, actually.
Yeah, this story will validate why.
So, the title of this is Priest Bites Woman at Mass After Denying Her Communion, please say. So, imagine that, a priest biting someone who's turned up for Mass.
Maybe he thought it was right. It's like body of Christ, isn't it, that you eat, and the blood of Christ, which is the wine.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, look, I think you are the Messiah. I'm going to bite you and get your blood out.
Well, apparently, the priest has told police, like his side of the story, saying that he says that the woman first came to the 10 o'clock Mass. Okay, the morning service, I guess. But didn't seem to know the process of receiving communion, which I guess
what you do is hold your hand out.
Yeah, you cut and then you hold it out and then you put the wafer in your mouth and then. So he denied her the bread. Okay, he's been a bit difficult here. He denied it. She didn't know the process. But if you want more people to come to church, people are not going to know the process.
How to do it.
Yeah. And then he says that she came back to another service and tried again, and I believe that's when he bit her. Wait. Okay, the unidentified woman was involved in this. The top police that the scuffle started when she tried to receive communion but was denied. Okay, she looks. There's a flaw with her because she's called it a cookie.
Oh dear.
He wouldn't give me the cookie. I don't know if it was the way I was dressed or what it is that I like. The woman can be heard saying in the body cam video. He tried to forcefully shove it in her mouth. She backed up and said, "No, don't do that." She tried to get it, and that's when he went crazy, the witness said to police.
And a witness also told the police the woman was singled out because of her sexuality and attire. So can we actually see this one? Is this her?
I'm confused.
I just want to see what she looks like. That's really all it is. But
his immediate reaction to bite her.
I think, as I say, he's a man of God, Tony, and we should trust everything he does.
Well, it's one way of maybe her remembering what the process is.
But at the same time, he probably needs to alter his ways.
Yeah. I
think
think
his ways.
It's probably not the worst thing a Catholic priest has been known to do. But that was bizarre.
But we're seeing the incident now. We're watching it.
Oh.
He's manhandling her, but I don't see him biting her. Okay, let's just put it back. I apologise. Just need to check this out.
Wait, I think that's it. I think he bit her arm.
Did he bite her arm?
Yeah.
And I mean, the way she didn't.
Oh, look, yeah, he's run in for a bite.
Did you see that? Did you see him?
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, look, there we go.
Oh, yes, he bit her, yeah. Wow.
I mean, he could have tried to kiss her hand. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe intrusive thoughts took over. But then the number that
God might have told him to do it.
Yeah. It's a divine intervention. But the number I had was 10 because she first came to the 10 o'clock mass. So I decided to use that number. Chris.
I think he needs to alter his ways. But yeah, so Tony, let's get some from mine, and you'll be quite pleased with the number. I don't know if we've ever gone with this number before, but it's very relevant to our pick of the week this week. So, police officer couple, right, to continue working after £1 million lottery win. I repeat, police officer, they're bobbies, they're busies. Police officer couple to continue working despite £1 million lottery win. Graham White, 35, and his wife, Catherine, 36, said they plan to buy their dream home in the countryside. Well, you're not going to get very far with £1 million, are you? And this is what we're talking about. Guys, you haven't won that much in the first place. You really... And it's what we say. You want to use a lottery win to upgrade your life and lifestyle. With £1 million, you don't really have a massive amount to play with.
But now, that's why he's working, right?
That's why they want to keep working.
Yeah.
They didn't need to tell anybody.
Oh,
now, number one, your anonymity is out the window now. Everyone who knows you is going to be, it's your round, mate, again. Because they can't really change their lifestyle that much with this. It's your round again. Oh, mate, do you have a spare tenner? I've got a debt of 20 grand. I wonder if you could help me out.
Or like parking or tickets for speeding.
Yeah.
Oh, can't you cover it for me?
That?
Yeah, can you cover it for me, mate?
And that's the thing. They're now identifiable. They're bobbies. They're pleas. They're pigs. I never call them pigs, but they are bobbies. They're peels on the beat.
Yeah.
People are going to use that against them, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why they're holding a big check. I mean, you must say, do you want to do this or not? You know when they got the champagne and the big check, you can say no.
They don't have to go public. They don't, and they've
What's
gone
the benefit
big time.
Of that? Yeah.
They have a 5-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son as well. They told their bosses and the police they would continue working, but with reduced hours. So they're actually going to reduce their hours as well. It's only £1 million.
Isn't police pension quite good? And you can only work up to 55 anyway.
True.
So unless you become like a
so they're, I
sergeant,
think they're
desk
mid
job.
30s, aren't they? So
Yeah.
the police officer said he thought it had been a mistake, or it had to be a mistake, when the couple from Cambridge had found out they won $1 million. He said the win was life-changing. Well, I don't think it is. Unfortunately, it's not enough. Speaking about the moment, Mr. White said, I play Euro Millions through the National Lottery app and occasionally get a message saying I've won something. It's usually a couple of quid. So when I saw the message, I thought, great, that would pay for a lunchtime meal deal at work tomorrow. I bet he gets that meal deal with the full English breakfast thing. It's Bobby, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
It doesn't say what their jobs in the police are. That's the only thing. And you didn't say they look rough and, I mean, I don't think he's just on the beat.
I actually quite like. I think police, they do a tough job, right? It's not an easy job, and I'm all for helping the police in any way that I can. And I guess
absolutely. No, I am. But just keep it quiet.
Yeah, for their own safety. The police doesn't mean they're untouchable.
Oh God, Tony, these guys. He added as well, we both laughed at our first little upgrade as we treated ourselves to a Nero's instead of the usual Greg's coffee. As we strolled around B&M Bargains absent-mindedly, the phone rang. I took the call and the guy on the phone confirmed the win and actually said, congratulations, you're a millionaire. Oh my God, I'm done. Tony, I'm done with these two. Honestly, Bobby's going public to say they've won $1 million, upgrading to Cafe Nero, which is probably even worse than Greg. I love Greg's, but the coffee is atrocious.
I've never tried it.
It's really bad. And Nero is also awful, so I just have to judge them. And they're living around Cambridge. They go and get an artisan coffee. But yeah, so that's the number one, because they won £1 million, Tony, on the Euro Millions. But this one's really relevant. I think we've spoken about this on the show before, and I think you might like this. British woman catfished by fake Gary Barlow finally gets to meet her idol. So it's all well in the world again. This poor old dear was catfished by a fake Gary Barlow, but now she's actually met the real man himself, and she said he's very kind. Fame hasn't gone to his head. It was like seeing a friend in the street. And I think that backs up, you've always loved Gary Barlow.
Yeah, I mean...
He looks pretty old nowadays. I'm just seeing this photo of him with the old dish. She's only got 2 teeth, the old girl. And you've got to feel sorry for her. She's got 2 teeth. She's really looks like she's on her last legs. And she thought that Gary Barlow was messaging her on Facebook to ask her on a date and to be his wife.
Bless her.
Bless her.
He looks quite all right in that baby blue Adidas tracksuit.
Yeah, I mean, you're a big fan of his.
Yeah, it's got good taste. I never forget. Was he on? Was it Britain's Got? Is it Britain's Got Talent
he was
or the
a
other?
judge on one of them, or X Factor or something.
X Factor. And I remember his. I don't know. What did he say? It's almost like his. I can't remember what it was in terms of like he was dissing this person who was performing. Basically, one of this.
Yeah, he was hard. He's mean, isn't he? He's trying to be Simon Cowell, was it?
Yeah, he was. This guy came on. He was at a previous audition, and he was part of a group, and they were like obnoxious teens that were completely bad. And then he's come back, and the person who auditioned, he's like, "I've matured now. I'm going to do a performance that is, I apologise for last time." And he did his performance and he got booed and then he turned into that obnoxious teen again. And then Gary Barlow goes, "You said you're matured, mate. Some things, when they mature like a wine, they get better. But you've matured like a bad curry, mate." And I thought, that's yeah. Because he's northern, isn't he?
He is. And that's probably the sort of charm and charisma that Janet Smith, 62 years old, thought... had made her dreams come true after she spotted Take That singer Gary on Facebook back in March. She decided to add him as a friend. She just took the lead. She's like, right, Gary's on there. I can't believe it. She added him as a friend. The pair began chatting and hit it off immediately. However, Janet would soon realise that things weren't what they seemed after he repeatedly bombarded her with compliments. When he told her he'd split up from his partner, Janet decided it was time to discover the truth and convinced the scammer to reveal his identity. She then learned that she was actually talking to a 24-year-old man from Nigeria who apologised for lying to her. He went on to say he actually had fallen in love with her and needed her to send him cash. The experience left Janet feeling dejected, with the pizza restaurant worker feeling really guilty as the man told her he came from a poor family and needed the money to get some food. But she did think it was important to share her story in order to help others spot the son's potential scam. Did she give him any money? I don't know. It doesn't actually say. But what she did say is she understands they're poor, but people could lose a lot of money. It's also giving celebrities a bad name. That's the most important thing here, Tony. Gary Barlow's getting a bad name out of all this.
But he salvaged it now. He actually got, I need to fix this.
Well, that's what's beautiful about it, I must say. The real Gary came across the story and decided to organise something special for her. He invited her to take that gig at Carrow Road, Norwich, on 28th of May and arranged to meet her before the show. Janet said, Gary came running down the corridor saying hello and giving me a hug. He said he was so sorry about what's happened and asked how I was. It was lovely. So that's it,
I love this bit. He goes, Janet brought gifts of Mars bars, a mug, and a milk tray for Gary and the boys.
That's lovely, isn't it? Oh, that is. I was laughing and he was laughing. He's really kind and friendly. He gave me a cuddle and didn't judge me. Maybe sparks really are flying between them after all that.
But I'm confused. Why did she go for a milk tray when she could have gone for Terry's?
You're right. You're right.
Jason Orrit,
right. Yeah, I didn't get that, but no, that's a really good one. But yeah, so Tony, there you go. That's just a good story. But 24 for the man from Nigeria. We need to get in touch with this poor old dear to figure out if she actually did give him any money.
Yeah.
Because we've had listeners as well, haven't we? Who was it who emailed in some time ago who wanted to...
Oh, it was that chef guy. Was it the one of the chefs?
Yeah.
That TV chef guy.
Oh, yeah. What's
him.
his name? James Martin. Yeah, she thought she'd met... I can't remember now, but... So it's number 24, and the final one, Tony. Just wanted to let you know, really. It's not a big one. Because we've spoken about Nessie on the show before, and of course we speak about Bigfoot regularly, and... Nessie remains elusive. And so too does Bigfoot. I know there was a sighting that we spoke about recently, but Nessie, I don't know what it is, but she's shy, I suppose, and it's quite rare that we do get to see her. But we know she is out there. And the biggest ever hunt for Nessie took place this weekend, Tony.
Is that where you were?
Yeah, that is where we were. It started on the 30th of May and it went across the whole weekend, I think. Proof for the Loch Ness Monster could be worth millions, it said. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that, there have been lots of different photos snapped of the Loch Ness Monster, and some of them are quite convincing, has to be said. But there's no proof. There's no DNA or whatever to say this really is.
Yet.
And that's why I've said this. So there was an event called Quest 2024, which ran from 30th of May to 2nd of June, and this was marking 90 years since Sir Edward Mountain's first ever organised search for Nessie. Monster hunters from far and wide came to Scotland to play their part in the search, and the organisers even asked NASA if they'd like to play along. Amy Todd of the Loch Ness Centre had said, "We are hoping that Nessie hunters around the world will help us reach the people at NASA." So they also have, or they want NASA to bring advanced imaging technology to help them scan the loch for signs of Nessie. But yeah, just...
You know what I suddenly thought about? You remember that little kind of submarine I was trying to find the Titanic wreckage? Why don't they use that to go and find Nessie?
Yeah. And especially when you hear reporter Stuart Patterson said, "I've been reliably informed that definitive proof of Nessie could be worth millions. So after years of watching the mystery from afar, I was determined to solve it once for all and make some cash." He didn't find Nessie, but hopefully we haven't heard any stories yet. But maybe by next week's pod, we might have definitive proof that Nessie's out. I hope so, because we kind of got there with Bigfoot now, haven't we?
No, I thought it said, sadly, for his bank balance, he wasn't able to find Nessie. But he did love the surrounding area. I think there is a policeman that we can put him in contact with to help him with
There
that.
certainly is. Yeah. Millionaire policeman. But yeah, so that one, we're going for the number 30 there, Tony, which is the date that it started was 30th of May, as I said.
So go on, Chris. Yeah, tell us what are the numbers I'll be buying this week. Go on.
Go on then. So the numbers for this week are the number 1, the number 10, the number 16, 24, 30, and 55, Tony.
They look good. They look very good.
They look like winners to me. A great spread.
Yeah.
I know we've spoken about this before of sometimes you want to get that good spread, and actually quite often, even if we go to the winning numbers this time, they're not always spread out.
Yeah.
It's completely random, believe it or not. So this week was 6, 11, 16, 21, 43, 50. So quite a lot of them at the lower end. You got 4 below 22, so 4 in the first half. But yeah, let's just see. It's all random.
Yeah, it's all about that manifestation, and I'm going to be manifesting hard, like really hard.
I bet you are.
Definitely. And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned Nessie, because I was thinking about kind of mythical creatures a lot. I mean, we kept talking about Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Well, mythical. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, it's not mythical. The real
undiscovered, unproven,
that
definitely existent.
Do you think do you ever watch Godzilla movies? I
have actually. Yep.
I'd never really watched, but did it explain when Godzilla came from? Is he from outer space, or has he always been on Earth?
Wow, that's actually a really good point. I don't know. And where did King Kong come from?
Isn't he from Earth?
I don't know.
Because I was thinking, you always talk about, and I'm so up for it, mating with a Bigfoot, female Bigfoot, to see what comes out. But what if you kind of mated a Bigfoot with a Loch Ness monster? What do you reckon? Would something like a Godzilla come out or something?
Yeah, that's possibly how it was. But I mean, you're quite right. Obviously, Bigfoot is this giant hunk. Or Hulk, you might say.
Yeah.
Whereas Nessie, obviously, beautiful, young. Oh, not young now, but this monster that's in the lake there. But you kind of got a bit of a.
How would it be better if Nessie is the female and Bigfoot's the male?
Yeah,
that's probably that's how.
But that would rob you of an opportunity to shag Bigfoot, a female Bigfoot. You could shag Nessie instead if you want.
No, I'm just thinking it wouldn't work if Bigfoot was female and Nessie is female.
Well,
no, it's not.
It is. She is. But do you remember we touched on this a few weeks ago? There's a book coming out that portrays Nessie as a bloke, so maybe she's having some sort of gender identity issues. But Tony, there is something we do need to correct for the record, actually. If you can get your phone and just get onto our WhatsApp, because I just remembered. This is hugely important because silly old me bungled something really important a couple of weeks ago on the pod, and we had emails flying in.
Got to set the record straight, Chris.
I've got to set it straight. So I said the other week that... I can't even remember exactly what I said.
Something about, was it about the space and time? You get time
space continuum. Yeah, let me say what the facts are.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back. So listen to this. So this is how you can slow time down or speed time up. And it is 100% true. Time goes slower in a stronger gravitational field. Time slows down in a stronger gravitational field. So for example, planet Earth. Mm-hmm. Time goes a bit slower, right, than if you went into outer space where it's a weaker gravitational field. Mm-hmm. So time goes faster in a weaker gravitational field. But time goes slower at a faster speed. So that's what I was trying to get at. And I think I said something along the lines of if you were travelling outside of Earth's orbit, time would actually go slower. But what I meant was just faster speed. It doesn't necessarily matter if you are.
Okay.
So I got it all a bit messed up. But just to be clear, if you're in a stronger gravitational field, time slows down. So if you're in a weaker gravitational field, it goes faster. Mm-hmm. If you're going at a faster speed, time goes slower. And if you're going at a slower speed, time goes faster. So, where's the strongest gravitational field in the universe?
Black hole.
Yeah. near a black hole.
Yes.
Well, black hole. So if we were travelling, Tony, just theoretically, if we were travelling near a black hole at half the speed of light, time would go very slowly indeed. And I actually put this into AI to figure it out. So, and it does say, so AI says, theoretically, it could be possible to travel at half the speed of light, which is pretty damn quick. And it said, travelling at half the speed of light near a black hole with tolerable gravitational forces would slow your experience time to about 65% of normal, as we can theoretically travel at half the speed of light but not survive the extreme gravity near the black hole. So, Tony, it is theoretically, but probably not in this lifetime, but things are actually being worked on. And there's theory there to say we could travel at half the speed of light and survive. And then we could slow down our experience time by 65%. So let's say it's my birthday this weekend. So I can't reveal what age I'm going to be, but it's 33. So I would be only 65% of 33. This weekend, if I were travelling permanently at half the speed of light, at the most tolerable strength of gravity.
You kind of lost me there, Chris, but
crazy
this
is
sounds
that?
crazy. I thought, so can you survive going into a black hole?
No, this is essentially saying if we were travelling at that speed, at the strongest amount of gravitational field that we could tolerate, which wouldn't be in this black hole or even particularly right next to it or that close to it, but wherever it is, as close as we could get.
But what we do know is that theoretically we can travel at half the speed of light and still be okay.
Yeah, theoretically.
Wow. So that's almost like...
And you get around the Earth.
Is that like Star Trek?
And what's it called?
Thing.
What's that movie where they where they basically go through a black hole or something like that? Famous one, when they're in outer space.
Is it new or old?
A few years ago.
Oh, I haven't seen any. I haven't seen that Gravity or any of that stuff. Interstellar. Is that Interstellar?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I only seen one where they go through. It's like a horror one, Event Horizon. Seen that? They go into hell.
But that's quite fascinating.
That's good.
So maybe we should have front-loaded that. We'll come back to it next week on the show, and I'll do a little bit more research. But I must remind our listeners, please do follow us, subscribe. We're on Instagram, Win Me the Lottery. We're on YouTube, Win Me the Lottery. We're on TikTok, Win Me the Lottery.
Yeah.
Where else are we? We're even on Facebook. We haven't given much to that. Win Me the Lottery.
Yeah.
And you can email us at
tony.win.lotto@gmail.com.
And it's all overflowing, but we do get to all of your messages, even if we don't read them out on the show.
Yeah, even if I stay up all night to go through them.
And most nights you do.
Yeah, I don't get any sleep, but that's, I do what I need to.
Well, you'll get plenty of sleep once you've won the lottery and you've got a luxury super king bed.
But will I get a lot of sleep if I've got 100 million and people know about it? They're coming after me?
Well, that is...
Yeah, that's probably what you're trying to get. If 10 million, you'll be sleeping soundly. Have a thing to think about. Great, thanks, Chris. I guess that brings us to the end of Win Me the
Lottery.
We shall see you on the next one.
Ciao, ciao.
Goodbye.